Okay, my name is Tolulope. I'm one of the ground trainers with Caverton. What's what's the dream entails and who is I can't talk about Caverton. I don't want to talk about. I want to. If I'm going to talk about training, I can only do in general. I can't talk about. I don't want to bring it to Caverton at all. That's part of it. That's it.
Okay, now, so can you just give us an insight to who Mrs. Tolulope is? Your your career journey. We just like to know that insight.
Okay, so way back in 1991, after finishing my youth service, I was looking for a job. And, I got a teaching job, but I had applied to be a cabinet executive. I didn't even know what that was. But ABC Airlines then had put up a banner and I applied. And when I applied, they didn't get back to me on time. Eventually, when they got back to me, I was up north doing this teaching job. And it looked like I had lost it. But somebody else said, they offered me employment. Yeah. And someone now said, I wasn't around. And I said, I couldn't leave the job that I had just taken up to pick up this job. So I met somebody eventually who said, no, an offer of employment doesn't lapse until like 3 months. So tell them you're interested. So I told them when I was interested. I sent somebody there. And I said, okay, whenever I come into Lagos, I should come to the office. So I went down to the office and they told me when we're going to employ the next batch of cabin crew, they will call me. And that's what it did. And that's how I started my career into the industry. I didn't know what it was about. I didn't know whether I was going to enjoy it or not. I just knew that, well, I wanted to try this out. And that's how my journey started. So I got into ABC, started out as a cabin crew, and go through the journey. After a while, I became a purser, and then I started doing training from ABC Airlines. From ABC Airlines, I moved into Virgin Nigeria. I spent 6 years in Virgin Nigeria. Okay, before I left ABC, actually, I actually became head of cabin services, which became public. In addition to Instructor, I became head of cabin services. And Virgin Nigeria I left because I believed that there were better opportunities in Virgin Nigeria. And so I left Virgin Nigeria shortly after that. ABC had to shut down. I was in Virgin Nigeria until they shut down. And without a job for a while, about a year, because that one cost some of us and others. And eventually, well, because I had always been training all along, and I actually enjoyed training, I talked to somebody and he just said, okay, I'll talk to someone for you. I found myself in my present job.
It's been a journey.
Oh, yeah, it has.
So, can you just tell us basically some of the challenges you've had as it relates to gender issues? Have you, in the course of your journey, had gender challenges? People say, no, no, she's a lady and all that, so she doesn't deserve a portfolio.
In all honesty, for me, not really, no. I guess it's because I'm a very vocal person. And if you would try to do that to me, I'll probably speak up. And so I didn't really get that. And I was talking to some people in NC yesterday, and they said to me, you don't think we did make job. That was it, because even in my days as cabin crew, I won't let you talk down on me. I won't let you bamboozle me or intimidate me. I'm not somebody that is easily intimidated. I can stand my ground, and I believe that worked for me. I guess that's one of the values that my dad impacted on me, and that has helped me in my journey. Yes, you may say, okay, my problem will probably not have been you can't get it because you're too vocal, not because you're a woman.
Yes, that was interesting. And moreover, competence is gender blind. So that would simply mean that you probably have been doing extremely well, and so there wouldn't have been any need for you to experience such issues. Now let's come to training. What's your view about training in the aviation industry in general, comparative to developed nations?
Now, in aviation, what I would say is it's a highly regulated industry. So it's difficult to say you're not at par because there are regulations. The NCA regulates us. ICAO regulates the NCA. So aviation training, there are trainings that, if there are trainings that are compulsory, you must do them or else. Okay, especially for ground staff, cabin crew, pilots, dispatchers, a certain level of staff. There are certain trainings that you must do. They're regulatory. You cannot but not do them. So you can. However, organizations can do a lot more. For instance, one of the reasons why I am an instructor today is because ABC started it. My first instructor's course was by ABC, and ABC sent us to British Airways. Then went to their training school and didn't send just me. ABC sent 12 of us. And I think today I'm probably the only instructor that is still standing.
Okay, so who are those people that are eligible to partake in this training?
Once you're in the industry, for instance, once you enter the industry, each profession in the industry, especially people who work in operations, are entitled to do the training. They must do the training. There are trainings that are regulated for them. One of the things we try to do here is actually encourage people to get trained. There are courses that you may not necessarily need, but there are courses that you can that are beneficial to everybody. When you talk about a single course like firefighting or fire safety awareness, everybody needs fire safety awareness. It doesn't matter. You could have a fire in the house. Knowing how to prevent it, one, knowing how to put out the fire if it starts to, or knowing what to do, three, would all make sense to you. So if you sat down in that class, it's not a problem. These days, you hear these stories. Somebody went somewhere and slumped and died. I was in Douala a few days ago, and at the airport, I didn't see the man, but I just noticed that the man slipped and fell. I don't know whether I don't think he had a heart attack. And it's from my observation as a first aider. I don't think he had a heart attack, but I guess he slipped and fell. Unfortunately, there were hot help came to his rescue immediately, kept him on the ground and whatever. Now, first aid, every single one of us needs it. We need to have the knowledge. If you have the knowledge, sometimes when people fall down and you do your assessment, what it does is you know what to do next. You know whether, okay, does this person need CPR, or does this person need to be put in the recovery position, or is this situation is conscious? Okay, so ask questions further while you're waiting for further assistance. But unfortunately, somebody called me to tell me not too long ago that they were taking somebody. The woman woke up at night and she was sweating profusely. Now that's a signal. And said the husband knocked off the body. She went back to sleep, and then by the time she woke up the second time, not only was she sweating, her heart was hurting. Before they got her to the hospital, I don't know what the length of time was, but before they got her to the hospital, she was BID, got in there, which is rather unfortunate. But if you know what to do as first aid, one, that woman, even if she was conscious, they should have been monitoring her. There's a position that you put somebody who's suffering a heart attack. what would have happened is, okay, you would have asked a couple of questions and you would have found out that since she's probably holding and telling you that her heart is hurting, she's either having a heart attack or she has angina, if she probably had angina. So the signs and symptoms that she has will give you an idea of knowledge, what is based on knowledge. If you don't know it, you cannot. And unfortunately, most of the time, what happens here is when you see instances like that, is either go and bring water, you pour water on the person. It's not the water. If somebody thinks it's not the water, it's because blood has gone back to the head. That's basically what has brought that person out. Because and all you simply need to do is elevate the legs a bit so that more blood rushes and the vital organs have blood. And then that's that. And then you can ask, okay, are you okay? Assist the person up, let him sit down. Okay, find out what really went wrong. Why? Is it because he hasn't eaten? And we know these days people are hungry. So if somebody just flumps and is conscious, it's probably because he's hungry. And so
Okay, so someone who has nothing to do with the aviation cannot partake in this training.
No, for courses like fire safety, first aid, everybody, those are courses that everybody needs. There are also courses like we've got crew resource management, we've got safety management systems, we've got dangerous goods. Yes, you've got those are some of the courses. Now, most of these courses, if you are a member of staff, especially working operations, it's mandatory that you do these courses. However, if you want, there's nothing wrong in us gaining more knowledge. For instance, when I teach the course called CRM, it's a course that teaches us how to ensure that we have safe flights, because when you do things over and over again, the tendencies for things like complacency, over familiarity to step in. So even though you're doing this over and over again, you want to make sure that this person is efficiently using all the available resources to make sure that we have the flight that goes and comes back safely. And looking at everybody that is involved in that process. So even at home, when we talk about crew resource management, we look at topics like standard operating procedures, we look at teamwork, we look at communication. Communication, everybody needs communication. It doesn't matter whether it's aviation or outside aviation. Even in our homes, we need to learn to be able to communicate well. How well are we communicating even with our children? We need to learn to understand one another. So I believe, and I tell people, even when I come to a class, it's not about me just impacting the class. I'm also learning from the people in class, and I can take that knowledge and use it elsewhere.
Okay, so if people come from other people that have nothing to do with aviation, if they come for this training, after being trained, do you have jobs for them, or you just train them and let them do it?
If they want the training, nobody can guarantee you a job after they give you training. If there's an opening, you can be considered, but there's no guarantee. We do the training for you that you can get a job immediately after we do that training for you.
Okay, so as an ex-cabin crew, what can you say about the air transport?
Okay, all right. There have been a lot of changes, some for the better, some not so. Some things that I am personally not happy with. I forgot to mention, I also do customer service training. I'm actually a customer service trainer and leader. And so one of the things I do is I watch out for things when I travel, and I am never afraid to give feedback. And customer service, of course, cuts across all industries, so it's not restricted to just aviation. And I'm ready to make noise in a bank, and I go out of my way to make sure when it is an organization that I expect should have good customer service. So as I was saying, customer service cuts across. There are certain organizations for me that need to portray it. And when I enter an organization and I don't see it makes me upset. And so I'm willing to, give feedback if need be. If it is to insist that you do the right thing, I'm ready to waste my time to insist that you do the right thing. I try as much as possible not to be rude about it, but that is it. And so for cabin crew, apart from being a safety professional, because your first and foremost a safety professional, you're on board because of safety. You also need to, have great customer service skills. You have to be creative. It's not just about having a fine face. You have to be creative. You have to be friendly. You have to be warm. You have to be polite. People should be able to warm up to you. Of course, warming up doesn't necessarily mean that you take everything, because, of course, you do need to be able to draw the line. However, you need to create an ambience. These days, I see people, oh yeah, they do their job, but you just find out that there's no connection. Sometimes the crew is welcoming you on board, and it's like her mind is somewhere else, or his mind is somewhere else. Your passengers are supposed to be your guests. You should be happy to see them, so you're welcoming them. Ones that you know their names, you're supposed to welcome them by name. Oh, good morning, it's good to see you. Just want to see your body card. This is, I had fun flying. And I tell people, if you call me to come and fly today, I will still fly today. And airline is ready to take me at this age to fly. I will fly. Because I am telling you, it doesn't matter what I was going through on the other side. Once I enter aeroplane, I have forgotten everything. I'm there to have fun. And fun I had. Yes, there were challenges. Yes, there were issues. But there was always a way. Yesterday was the next year, and we were gisting, and I was sharing one of my experiences. Of course, we have, in those days, we had captains from a particular organization who felt that they were Lord and Master. And in ABC, we all considered the same. The captain cannot lord it over you. It was very beautiful. And everyone who works there, can attest to that. And, so at one point in time, we were using these pilots to help. We didn't have enough, so we were coming to do we had an arrangement, so they were being outsourced for my organization. And then some of them would bring that attitude of, I'm Lord and Master towards it. But we had, and I remember one of those days, the man said, I should shut his door. No, he didn't say I should shut his door. It was, I can't remember what he did, but I was very upset. And so as I left the flight there, I vanished the door. And the issue was that this particular person, he gets on every one of us. And he gets on, there's no cabin crew who work with them that wouldn't complain about him. I just felt that I had enough of it. So I walked out of the flight there, and he ended the flight, and then he put in his log reports, because he writes a report after that I can no longer fly with this cabin crew. And when the officer, and that's why this course, crew resource management, is very important, because there must be good rapport between everyone that is working. Because if somebody is upset or something will go wrong, and you don't want the pilot upset, and then he's supposed to do a particular check, call out, and he forgets it. It has issues of people not remembering to pull out, drop the undercarriage, and so on and so forth. And then the aircraft does a belly landing and things like that. These are things that are a build up before that happens. It could be something that has started way back, but there's a build up, and it results in an accident. And so you don't want things like that to happen. So the management set up a panel, called the two of us to the panel. And I remember the man said, when they called him to the panel, he said if he had known that this issue would have resolved in them setting up a panel, that would have found another way to resolve the issue. Because he felt that we had a good relationship with that. It was just one of those days. At the end of the day, because I like trouble and I'm very stubborn, I won't tell you like. My friends had heard, they had come to the office and said, to do anything they tell you to do, you must do. You know that, we understand that this man probably pushed the button, blah, blah, blah. But we don't want you to do what you, because they didn't want to see me do. And as God will have it, our chief pilot then, when we finished the meeting, the recommendation was that I should write an apology letter to the man. And my guy held my hand, took me out of the meeting and said, hey, to come to my office. They're writing that letter now because they knew that if I left that place, I probably wouldn't do it because they knew that how I felt. But at the end of the day, what did they cost? I did, I'm resolved. I remember the man traveled for sin or something and came back with a box of chocolates for me. So that was it. But these days, you find out that, and I tell them, myself and Mama gave you a lot of mention. And one of the things we let them know that it's not automatic. Like you got the training, one, you need to go to the right place for the training. You're having cooking. Two, when you come out, it doesn't mean that when you have everything, you have a license, you need to have something that makes you stand out from the rest of the people. You can't be the same. Oh, yes, I have a good license. I'm a fine girl. I've done the training. It's not about that. What extras do you have? What other skills do you have? How creative can you be? I was sharing what happened to me on one of my flights many years back. It was this same captain, and he has this order of when he tells you to shut his door, you got to shut the door. So that day, kitchen had loaded, but they didn't bring cutlery. And I was waiting for them. I told them, I don't have cutlery. Bring cutlery before this flight. And the man just said, shut my door. And I couldn't tell him that we didn't have cutlery. The only thing I had was teaspoons. And I shut the door. And we took off, and I now said to myself, what are you going to do? You've got business class passengers. And I just took a small sheet of paper, wrote an apologetic letter stating that, I'm sorry, I had a little problem today. I only have teaspoons. Catering, if you don't mind using a teaspoon to eat breakfast, I can bring it. I'm telling you, every single one of my passengers ate. They all ate. They didn't feel, and none of them wrote a report. It was when my captain now wanted to eat that I told him I didn't have protection. Now asked me, what did these business class passengers do? I said, I did a note to them, and they obliged me by eating with a teaspoon. He said, he made a lot of noise, put it on his grade report. I got a query, and I answered the query, and that was the end of the matter. So it's about, also sometimes there are instances where you need to be creative. You need to have something on. You have to have something different from everybody else. You must stand out. There's a lot of competition now. Then there wasn't. Now everybody wants to be a cabin crew. I was talking to somebody yesterday, and she was complaining. And if you see how much she wanted this cabin crew job, because now that she's there, it's not as rosy as she felt that it looked like. What you see when you see crew walking along the tarmac in their uniform, fully dressed, you think that everything is Charlie. There's so much that goes on. And I want to say that they're pretty lucky these days. They don't really work. They used to work like no man's business. ABC then served meals. The meals that you serve for your international flights, that's what ABC was serving. We used to do for breakfast flights, we used to do tea and coffee. And you carry tea and coffee on the trolley, serve passengers. You will load that trolley when you get on board, serve passengers. By the time you're landing, you're just managing to stow the trolley. When you land, somebody empties the trolley, loads it again for the return leg, and you have to do that in a quick turnaround. One day I was almost landing with my trolley in the aisle. There all sorts. I've had beautiful experiences, but it is what it is. And I told her, this is what you wanted. That's what I told her. She said, yes, you have to be focused. Stay focused. Fortunately, you got something on the side, you have a side skill which you were doing before you did that. So focus and get what you need to get out of this organization, and then move on. You know, it's sad, but that's the reality of the job we're having.
So talking about the cabin crew and the pilot relationship, can we say sometimes when we used to have incessant air crash, could it be as a result of the bad relationship between the pilot and the crew?
That's very rare. Now, because hearing that I teach, we look at accidents and incidents. It's rare for it to be having a conflict. It's very, very rare. I haven't really heard such an instance, because once you get on board, even if you were having a relationship with the captain, there's what do you call it now? There's a chain of command. You know where you stand, you know where the captain stands. He's in charge of the flight. He gives the order. Whatever he says to you is what you do. That's not the time to tell him sweetie or anything. No. You're professional. When you're on board, you're professional. When you get outside the airplane, you can do your job. But when you're on board, you're professional. So I doubt if I haven't come across any story that states that.
Okay, what I mean is maybe the cabin crew is not a good thing to the pilot, because you said something like the pilot could forget to do something.
Yeah, no, I'm just using that as an example. It could even be from operations, it could even be the co-pilot, he could be upset. Now, what happens there is such things, if you've been flying with that person a lot, are things that when the person is not in his right frame of mind, it's something the person you're working with should be able to identify. For instance, you know yourself very well. I'm sure if one of you comes to work and it's not his usual self, you will know.
True.
So in instances like that, what we encourage is look out for that person. Yes, sometimes the person is not ready to share his problems with you. But when you ask him, one thing he does know is that, okay, this person is looking out for me. And so what you would do is, if you have to work together, it's okay. Let's watch out for this person. Because the truth of the matter is, God forbid, if anything happens, you can't afford to have any unnecessary, in this part of the world, I think we're not doing that when it comes to relationship.
All right. From what you said, it appears that you had a full time being a cabin crew. Meanwhile, there are some people that are so scared of becoming a cabin crew, like because of air crash and all of that. What would you say to such people?
I spent over 20 years flying, and I don't think I had any crash. I don't think I had any. I don't even think I had any emergency landing. I think the worst thing that I had was one day we took off from Port Harcourt, and we heard some loud bangs, and the first one, the second one, third one. And of course, I was facing the passengers, and the passengers were looking at me, and I kept my face blank. But when we got stabilized a bit, I think I called the flight deck and told them, did you hear, or whether I went to the flight deck, did you hear the loud one? They now said they didn't hear the loud one. So he said what I said, he had it thrice. And the people on ground also heard. No pilots were, so they may not have heard. But my job as the cabin crew is, if you notice something, see something, say something. So I told them, and I said, okay, if that's the case, they were going to go back to ground. And what we did was go back ground, offload the passengers, call another airplane from Lagos to pick those passengers, get engineering to check the airplane before we now flew back, when we get back to Lagos. So, and then if you check the number of air crashes, I can check the number of air crashes that have happened this year and compare with the number of car crashes that have happened this year.
The difference is clear.
It is. Check the number of people that have died from air crashes this year. Yes, there may have been issues, but no, it's the crew are trained, everybody is trained, and it's only where in rare instances, that's why they say if you see something, you say something. There was a crash that happened sometime back, Aloha Airlines. When they were boarding, there was like a small dent on the aircraft, and I think one of the passengers saw it, and but the crew didn't see it, nobody else saw it, and they went on that flight, and eventually it tore open, and the roof of the aircraft, part of it pulled up. You can check it up online, and they landed safely with the fact that part of the roof was off. They landed safely, they only lost the course of the flight. She was sucked out of the airplane because she was standing up. So when they say passing your seatbelt and people think it's a joke, it's not a joke. There's a reason for it. If you fasten it low and tight, the chances are that even if the roof of your aircraft comes off, your pilot will be able to slow down and land the aircraft safely. It might just be uncomfortable. And pilots are trained, they go for simulators, they are trained to do all these things.
Okay, so assuming you are traveling far, right? What can you say about Nigeria, the air transport in Nigeria? Can you compare it with advanced country? Can you say we are doing our best as far as air transport is concerned in Nigeria?
Some airlines are, and I think I was telling someone yesterday that there are audits that are done. There's certain companies that do audits, and when they do audits, they do a kind of safety audit, and it's the same safety audit whether it's in Nigeria or there. And we have airlines that have passed those audits here. So I believe that in most cases,
Aviation space, helicopter training and operations. Because I knew that with the COVID-19 pandemic, there was a serious disruption within across the world, across industries.
Yeah.
So what would you consider to be the impact of the COVID-19? Because we are yet to recover from it.
it's a gradual thing. Sorry.
Okay.
It's a gradual thing. One of the things I think it did is
Sorry.
Yeah.
One of the things I know that it did was the number of people who stopped flying, who stopped, changed careers, moved away from, found other things to do which would make them as much money as if they were flying, and just chose to go down. Of course, there's a cut down in staff sizes, people, there was a reduction in travel. It also impacted finances and what have you. But I believe that for most of it, we're coming out of it. We put it behind us and we're making impact. I believe that the impact of COVID on the industry is not as severe as some other things. Talk about the exchange rates. That's one major thing that is impacting the industry. Talk about training. That's another thing that's impacting because training is regulated. Sometimes for some, just want to have to do the training. But the truth of the matter is, if you really invite the training, it helps the organization, especially when your senior management is a part and parcel of the training. It impacts the organization better. When everybody imbibes it, it gives the organization a better output, and they understand things better.
Okay, finally, are there areas are there things you think the government should do to still improve the aviation industry?
Oh, definitely. For instance, we have more foreign airlines coming into the country. We need to have more airlines go out there. I know that we need to get to a certain level, but we need to have our carriers go out there, carry passengers out to those countries. All these countries keep on coming in. You know that A comes in, Virgin Atlantic comes in, and they don't just, some of them don't just come into Lagos. They go into Port Harcourt, they go into Abuja. And yet, the only airline that we have that is going outside. I remember a couple of days ago, I was looking on that, I saw two United Airplanes. We don't have any airlines in the States. Why not? So it's the government that needs to help, help the airlines. The airlines too have a problem. And what I would say is that aviation brings in a lot of money. And sometimes when you see plenty of money, it's like you need to put the money back into the system. You need to know what your overheads are, your costs and what have you, and apportion them properly. It's not for you to go to town and sure, no. If you're making money from aviation, put it back into the business so that the business can thrive. If you put it back into the business 10, 15 years, you have more than enough money to pay around. So why, if the government chooses to support you, you also need to do what's right and not go to town.
Right. Thank you very much.
Thank
you so much.
You've done well.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Let's present a copy of